Cinema Podcast, stepping in. Your one-stop review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibes, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around. Every episode, spitting truth. Old school jams and the latest youth. We keep it real, no sugarcoat. Pop culture on the mic we wrote. So tell your friends and hit subscribe. Make cinema here to vibe. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. We're the hottest review in your street. Snake Cinema Podcast, stepping in. You want stop review, let it sink in. Hip hop vibe, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around.
What it do? Welcome to episode 40. We hit the big 4-0 of Snake Cinema Podcast. I am your host, Prince Elias. And yeah, super excited. I can't believe I've been this consistent with the podcast for 40 episodes. Thank y'all for supporting your boy. Every week it's happening. And again, I want to apologize for canceling last week's episode due to a death in the family. My great uncle, my grandmother's brother, passed away suddenly. Like as we were on our way to Chicago for our family reunion, we got the phone call, and we were almost in Chicago. Like there was no way we could turn around. So yeah, that was crazy and emotional roller coaster, but I'm doing good. I'm doing better. Thank you for all my friends, supporters for checking in and making sure I'm Gucci. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's why I had to cancel the show, because even though we were in Chicago at the time and I could have gone live, mentally I was just not there. My brain, my emotions, I didn't want to cry on camera. It was too much. So I canceled the show. So I appreciate y'all for being accommodating and understanding of the situation, because I know some of y'all say y'all love tuning in on Saturday mornings, get y'all day started, and yeah, I just didn't have it in me last week. But I did go to Schaumburg, NARBC Schaumburg Reptile Expo, and that could be a part of. Matter of fact, before we do that, let me get to my job. This podcast and every podcast episode is brought to you by my wonderful, beautiful, amazing, handsome, and smart, creative sponsors. That is Mutation Station, Lucy Landball Pythons, Candy Lady Creations, and Flexing and Finessing Reptiles. Thank y'all so much for always supporting your boy. And that sponsor video, that sponsor vlog, where I go in deep with the shout outs, where I give them their spotlight, it's coming. It's coming on Snake Prince Vlogs episode. I just got to finish recording. I'm waiting till I get more merch from Candy so I can have a lot more to show y'all, a lot more options, even though I got a ton of shit. I just want to show y'all more options that she offers, as well as Chris, because Chris has been doing some stuff for me. Matter of fact, shout out to Chris. The intro, the countdown intro, that was all Chris. He's done a lot of promo, behind the scenes stuff for me, as far as channel sponsoring. So shout out to Chris from Flexing and Finessing. Thank you so much. He even helped me with some promo on some merch, on my merch that I'm going to be posting on Instagram soon. Just make it look more professional, more sexy, more cool when I post. And it's not just a random screenshot of a t-shirt with, Snake Cinema Podcast or Creative Reptiles on there. But anyways, yeah, so shout out to my sponsors. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Now, back to what I was talking about beforehand. Life and animal updates, because this all ties in together to that. Life and animal updates. My fair reunion was last week, and I was sorry, y'all. I thought a sneeze was coming. Fair reunion was last week. We were driving to Chicago. That's when we found out. I got the phone call about my uncle passing away suddenly. But anyways, before we went to Chicago, I was in the group chats. Everybody was talking about what they're doing and everything. What are their plans for the weekend? And I was like, well, I'll be in Chicago. And it was like, oh, so you coming to Schaumburg? And I was like, Schaumburg? What you talking about? I think it was Wiz. It was Wiz who said, yeah, the Schaumburg show is this weekend. Wiz and Will. And I was like, oh shit. The same weekend as my family reunion. I need to figure out how to get there. And luckily I did the research and I Googled maps from my hotel to the expo, and it was only 30-minute drive. Got me a Uber and I went that Saturday afternoon, and boy was it was an amazing time. It was such a vibe, and I got to see Wiz again in person, close to face. I got to meet Jen. I got to meet oh shoot, because I always forget their Instagram handles, but I met of course, I saw Patrick, Dragon Soul, and I got to see Juan, Windy City, um, and Pipeline. I got to see a lot of dope people. I got to meet the guy from Ozark Mountain Morphs. I think he was just on MJ's New Breeder on the Block episode this past week. He was a dope dude. I didn't even know that he was gonna be on the podcast when I met him. I was my mind was everywhere. I got to see Terry from True Balls, True Pythons. He's been on here down Fridays a couple times. Real dope dude. I got to meet and chop it up with him a little bit. It was it was a lot of people. Merlin's Magic Morph. Yes, I keep forgetting their reptile name, their Instagram. Merlin's Magic Morphs. I got to meet them face to face. Super dope. Love them. They were cool. It was a lot of people. It was a great vibe. Of course, seeing Vanessa, who works for all the NARBC shows and Animal Con, and I think she helps out with USARC and stuff like that. She does all their social media stuff. I got to see her, chop it up with her. Again, because I met her for the first time at the NARBC St. Louis show. Of course, y'all know the famous Snake Discovery people were there. I didn't get a chance to like chop it up with them like I did at Tinley, but I did see them there. It was a vibe. Schaumburg to me is just as cool as Tinley. It's just not as crowded and crazy and congested, which is my type of vibe. Tinley is more of a party. It's where the big wigs be at. It's where all the influencers go, which is cool. Which is ain't nothing bad about that. And I loved it. It was a great time for me going for my first time. Well, it's about to be 2 years now. Man, time flies when you're having fun. But to me personally, as far as crowd goes, as far as the venue look goes, as far as all those type of things, how to get there, parking, I choose Schaumburg over Tinley. I know that might sound like a blasphemous thing to say, but for my personality, for my social anxiety, I can still see the people I want to see at Tinley at Schaumburg. If I needed a specific snake from a specific breeder, I can still see them at either Schaumburg or the St. Louis show, because St. Louis is so small and so underrated, but some of the same great breeders still go to that one too. So it's like, if I really want to see people, if I really want to see Adeline Robinson and get her artwork, if I really want to see Dave Kaufman, if I really want to see Garrett DeMeyer, I can do it at Schaumburg. I don't have to go to Tinley where it's congested and crowded and claustrophobic, and then I'm about to have a mental breakdown and I leave early and don't come back because I needed to recharge my social battery like I did at the first Tinley, which I really regret that because the real Tarzan showed up, but he showed up after I had already left. I was like, damn, I should have stayed a little later, but it is what it is. But that's how I feel personally. Now, I'm pretty sure once I eventually make it to Daytona, my mind will change. And if I go to like the Reptile Super Show in LA, my opinions may change. But for right now, as it stands, the shows I actually physically walked up to, Schaumburg is my favorite. Tinley is second. That's the order I'm going to. Again, Daytona might change my mind. LA Pet Fair, or the Reptile Super Show, as they call it, might change my mind. Who knows? Some other show might pop up in the future and might change my mind. Hell, Bond Projects, they do their own show now in December. That might change my mind. But for right now, it's Schomburg, then Tinley, and then we go down from there. But it was a great vibe. It was fun. And as far as animal updates, some of y'all already know because I've already said it in the group chats. I got to meet Jordan from Heartland Reptiles. He gave me a free hat, and I will be wearing it on a future vlog. But he also had 3 of his retic babies there just to show people, his 3 of his yearlings. And as soon as I got there, he said, "You want to hold a baby?" I was like, "Sure." He gave me one. A Will from 217 was there too as well. He gave him one to hold. Another family came by, a man and his son. He let them hold a snake. When I tell you I fell in love with that retic, and it's a dwarf retic, it's like 20 something percent Calatoa and 15% Jampea, or maybe vice versa. I wrote it down. But anyways, I fell in love with that snake. I could not get that snake off my mind after I left. And when I got back home to Memphis, I was like, y'all, I know I said I'm not gonna get another snake, especially a retic, until next year, but I can't get that snake out of my mind. I can't get it. And of course, Maki hyping me up. Maki was like, "Yo, that's a sign. That's a sign. If you feel it, go get it." And so I pulled the trigger, DM Jordan. We made some arrangements of a payment plan, and I now am a owner. It ain't here yet, but I am now an owner of a dwarf retic. His name is Juju Kendrick, and my last name, which I'm not telling y'all. But if you know my last name, you know. But his first name is Juju from Princess and the Frog, the snake that Mama Odie has, and his middle name is Kendrick for Kendrick Lamar, because that's my favorite rapper. So Juju Kendrick, he will be here. He will be, and when I get him physically, y'all gonna see him on the podcast. Y'all gonna see him in the vlogs. It's gonna be lit. I can't believe I now have a retic coming. Super excited. But anyways, so those are the life and animal updates. Let's get to the chats. Shout out the chats, the early birds who are up, and then we shall get started with the reviews. Of course, first is my brother Keys. What it do? Keys hair down. Y'all, hair down Friday was amazing, and I still ain't finished it yet. I have to go back and finish like the last 2 hours. It was a 7 hour show, y'all. 7 hours. I fell asleep. I had them on the big screen TV at my sister's house because I'm dog sitting for her. I fell asleep on it. When I woke up, my phone was dead. The TV was frozen. And yeah, so I woke up to watch some of the rest, which whoo, some gems was dropped. Some gems was dropping. I haven't even finished yet, but great show. If you missed Hair Down Friday, please hit that replay. Also, speaking of videos, Father Dunn, you already know Father Dunn got a pickup, and I'm not going to spoil it, but he did drop a vlog yesterday showing his new pickup from Bomb Project. So if you have not seen Father Dunn at Uptown Exotics, go to his YouTube channel after this podcast, watch that video, like and subscribe. And comment on that video so the YouTube algorithms will bless him. But great video, great pickup. So proud of you, Father, doing big things, big things. Brian, Heathen Hatchery, the Scrambler Calico King, in my opinion. I'm waiting on Brian to hit some odds with some snakes in the Scrambler project, and also he's working with Calico and a lot of other things, but we call him Ball Ross, Mr. Ball Ross. I'm waiting for your babies to be born and hatch so I could dip into some projects. But shout out to Brian. Love you, bro. Let's see. I think that's it for this morning. More people will come in later on, probably in the middle of the reviews, but great to see y'all. Great to see y'all. What's up, Brittany? What's up? What it do? If you came in late, Brittany, your t-shirt is coming. Candy showed it to me. Me and Candy both had deaths in the families, like back to back. So things got pushed behind, but your t-shirt has been made. I got a picture of it. It looks dope. She's gonna ship it out to you. Um, thank you for always supporting me and tapping in, and thank you for your patience during this time. But that shirt is coming. Let's see. What's up? What's up? What's up? Banner Banana, my niece. Banner is doing big things. Banner got hit with the podcast bug. Tune in. She's gonna be a regular co-host for Off the Plank podcast with DJ and Brandon. So congrats, Banner. And she's been interviewed in a couple of things. She did Flawless Exotics podcast, and I think she's doing Jose's podcast this Sunday. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, Banner's doing her thing. She done got hit with the live streaming bug, so now she's podding with the rest of us. We finally got her out of share. But thank you for tapping in. They're coming eventually. Of course. Hey, I'm patiently waiting. Look, I just bought a Dorf retic. I'm patiently waiting on your snakes. I'm good. By the time you have some heat for me that you're letting go, I'm gonna have a new rack and space for them. But I'm excited. Yeah, Father Don. They stayed up late. It's 7 hours long. That's a long. I think they hit a record for hair down, but it was great. It was great. And I got to finish 2 after this podcast. I'm putting them back on the big screen TV and watch the last 2 hours of that show today. Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate you. Thank you. Also, tune in. I think it's this Tuesday. It might be this Tuesday, or it might be a couple of Tuesdays from now, but Off the Plank podcast with DJ Brandon and Banner with Beyond the Scales. Me and the Shenanigans and Rocking Them are having a crossover episode, a beautiful, funny, epic crossover episode. We're planning it. We're trying to plan it to where Brandon can be on, because you know, if his work schedule, but if it's not this Tuesday, it will be probably 2 weeks from now. But we are planning a crossover episode. It will be called Beyond the Plank podcast, which I like. I think Rock came up with that name. I like it. It was dope. So tune in, because we're all live at the same time on Tuesdays. So why not have a crossover episode like they did back in the day when we were growing up, you know, where certain TV shows all got together and did like a crossover. So that's what we're doing. So tune in for that on Tuesday. Great. Oh, what's up, Primordial? Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate it. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for letting me know who you are, because I'm like, who? Yes. Yo, this guy is so dope. If y'all not following him on Instagram, it's called Primordial. Hope I said that right. Sorry. My dyslexia is fucking with me right now. Please follow him on Instagram. Matter of fact, let me turn you blue right quick, bro. Let me turn you blue. That way you can drop your links, your social media links in the chat. So give me 1 second. Let me do that right quick. Let me turn you blue. Media links in the chat. So give me 1 second. Let me manage my moderators. All right, there we go. And once I turn you into a moderator, you can drop your link so everybody could follow you if they're not following you. He's been such an amazing supporter. Those support on Instagram, always sharing my stuff. And so I am going to return the favor. You're now part of the fam, bro. So yeah, now you should be blue in the comments so you can share your stuff out like everybody else. Thank you. All right. Oh, thanks, Banner. See, Banner did it. She shared the link. Thank you. What's good, DJ? Royal Caribbean's Exotics. I just dropped the bomb on them and told them we're having a crossover episode coming up. So it should be a fun episode to have 2 different podcasts together, having a good day and a good evening. It'll be nighttime when we do it, but I'm excited. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited. Let's see. All right. So because I had to cancel on y'all last minute last week, I decided to make this a super big mega episode. So we might go over an hour. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because I also have a rant to add to my reviews, but that will be later. That will be the grand finale. But But anyways, I gotta stand up. This chair is hurting me. Okay, so let's start with our review. So because I canceled last week, we're doing a super mega review where I do 2 movies and 2 albums, but so that I won't get bored while doing this, I'm gonna do album, movie, album, and then we'll end it with an epic rant because I have to have a come to Jesus meeting with Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm sick of his ass. But that's for later on in the show. Now, let's start with the first film I want to review today for y'all. And that is Beverly Hills Cop 4, or known as Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. We all know, I don't have to tell y'all, we live in an age where movie studios and movie executives only want to give us sequels, remakes, prequels, and all that jazz. Matter of fact, both things I'm reviewing are either a sequel or a prequel, which is funny. But so that's just the way we are. Original content is few and far between. To be honest, some of the most original content in independent films and unique films nowadays are in the horror, like, and maybe a few dramas that you might find being nominated for an Oscar next year. It's just that's the way it is. That's the way the movie industry is. But we can't really blame the movie executives for that because we as consumers keep going to watch the things. They're only following where the dollars go. They follow the dollars. So if we continue to go watch the sequels and the prequels and the remakes, they're going to keep making them. But someday the pendulum is going to have to swing the other way to where they invest more money in original content and in original artists and directors and writers. But I say all that to say we didn't need another Beverly Hills Cop sequel. We didn't need another movie. Matter of fact, like I said, this is the 4th one. Granted, the 3rd one was a little trash. It was a little trash, and I haven't watched it in years. But yeah, but we didn't need the first 2 were great. The first Beverly Hills Cop and Beverly Hills Cop 2 were amazing. Great time. Eddie Murphy's the GOAT. He has nothing to prove to anybody. He's the GOAT in comedy. He's the GOAT in all this. Like, he has nothing to prove. So we did not need Beverly Hills Cop 4 or Beverly Hills Axel F. We didn't need to know where this character would be in the modern age. We didn't need it. However, I ain't complaining. I'm glad we got it, honestly. And I'm glad that it was on not YouTube, Netflix. And not in the theater, because I'm sorry, movies that I watch in the theater are few and far between. Like I saw A Quiet Place. That's the other movie I'm reviewing today. I gotta go see Deadpool and Wolverine. That's a must. Matter of fact, I'm going more than once because I'm going to see it by myself. And then I'm going to go back and see it with my dad because that's a tradition we always do with Marvel movies. We go see movies together. So I'm going to go see it 9 times out of 10 twice. And so spending money, spending 20, 25, 30 bucks in the theater is few and far between. So I'm happy that this sequel, even though I did enjoy it, I'm letting y'all know right now, spoiler alert, I did enjoy the movie. I'm happy it was on streaming and not in the theaters because it wasn't gonna get seen. I was not gonna watch a review it had it been in the theaters because I have to budget my movie theater money. I have to budget that shit. And it was gonna be left behind in the ether because Quiet Place and Deadpool took priority of my wallet. But anyways, did we need this sequel? Fuck no. Did we need to know what Axel Foley was doing in 2024? Hell no. But I did enjoy it. I'm glad I saw it. This movie was 10. If we got to talk about remakes, sequels, or just Eddie Murphy movies in general, I like this 10 times better than the Coming to America sequel. Because this one looks like Eddie Murphy enjoyed his time. It looked like he had fun making this film. It looked like he wanted to make this film. I feel like he only did Coming to America because the bag was there. I don't think his heart was in it. And you could tell in the acting. Um, it just wasn't there. The comedy wasn't really there. It was all right, but it wasn't like it wasn't coming to America. So, but with this sequel, I can tell in his acting, like he really took this seriously, even though it's a comedy, action comedy, and it's funny. You could tell he had a good time and that he really wanted to do this particular sequel. So I ain't mad at it. Some of the side characters, one in particular was a little annoying, but everybody else was great. He brought some of the old people back from the previous films, which was pretty good, pretty funny. Some of the jokes, a lot of the jokes, I'm not gonna say some of the jokes, a lot of the jokes landed for me. Where I was just giggling and cackling, and it was great. It felt like it did with the first two films. It did for me. And I really like sequels and remakes and reboots when you can tell that the directors, the writers, and the actors actually put a little bit of thought into it. They didn't just do it for a cash grab. I mean, granted, they wanted their money back when they did it, but and also it looked like this had a way better budget than what coming to America 2 did. You could tell that the budget, they really put the money in it. Not just in the stars, but in other things like the cinematography, the action, and a lot of they invested a lot into this. And even though it's on streaming, I'm pretty sure Netflix gave them a nice pretty bag to be exclusively on their platform. So, I hope on the back end, Eddie and them and everybody involved got paid a good pretty penny. But it was amazing. It was dope. I don't want to continue to repeat myself, but it was funny. If you have not seen it, I think it's worth the 1 to 2 hours times wasted. I think you'll enjoy it. Have a good time. Don't go to this movie for story or for emotions. This is an action comedy. Go enjoy it. Pop your popcorn. Laugh a little. It's a great type of popcorn movie. And like I said, we didn't need it, but I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it exists. And even though I wasn't a fan of the third Beverly Hills Cop, I could watch a Beverly Hills Cop marathon where I watch all the previous and then continue with this one, and I'll be satisfied. I'll be good. So I would give Beverly Hills Cop Axel F a 8.5 out of 10. It ain't perfect. It wasn't needed, but it was a good time. It was a great hell of a good time. I had fun with it. And I recommend it. Plus, again, it's on Netflix. You don't have to waste gas money. You don't have to go buy popcorn and drinks. You don't have to spend 40, 50, 60 plus bucks in a movie theater to be in a room with people who won't shut the fuck up while you try to watch the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, going to the movie theaters, it's a hassle. It's work and it's money and it's time. And sometimes, depending on the crowd you're with, it could be a nightmare. Or it could be the best thing ever. But it's on Netflix, y'all. You already paying your what, $15, $16 a month. Watch it, have a good time, enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It was great. So 8.5 out of 10. And I love seeing Eddie Murphy went back in these types of roles where it looks like he is having fun and he's enjoying himself. And he's not just doing this just for a paycheck because he got a million plus kids that he got to pay for. Because that's how I felt with Coming to America, watching Coming to America too. I felt like he had a bill he had to pay, so that's why he did that movie. Let's see what the comments are saying because I be neglecting y'all. See who else in here. Let's see. Ba 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 ba. Wiz, caca. What it do, Wiz? Yes. Check out Wiz Constrictors tonight. Sophisticated Ignorance with R.O. Mr. Floppy. Great podcast to me. Between Hair Down Fridays, Sophisticated Ignorance, to me, they the best podcast right now. Y'all know I do my top 10 lists every year. Well, I started doing it in this podcast. I started adding podcasts to my top 10 list because I do top 10 albums, top 10 movies of the year. I'm now doing top 10 podcasts, and I'm letting y'all know right now. It's gonna take a miracle for anybody to knock Keys and Wiz off the top two spot. Now, who gonna get number one? Who gonna get number two? That's between them two, and I got nothing to do it. We'll figure it out on New Year's Eve when I do the podcast. We'll figure that out. Maybe go to war. But I'm letting y'all know right now, ain't nobody knocking them off right now. Right now, currently, those two are top two. They can fight over who's two. I love y'all. I love y'all, bros. Um, but let's see who else came in. Come in. Ah, yes, the Josh having the ball. Having the ball. What it do? Josh also has some heat. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. He's been investing heavy in some stuff. He's been producing some stuff. And when I get with when I start honing in my Project Dark mode and my Project Pies and stuff like that, Josh gonna be one of them folks I call. He gonna be one of them. Spoiler alert. Ken, cuz, what it do? What up, cuz? And once again, I know I told you on your birthday, but happy birthday again. I think it was like a day ago or 2 days ago was Ken's birthday. What it do? And great podcast you did with More Forge. Great interview. Great job. Super funny. Ken's that dude. He's the man. And the whole RWO family. All right. So that was the first movie review. So let's do the first album review. And that is Vince Staples' Dark Times. Now, his album has been out for maybe 2 or 3 weeks now. Because I was supposed to been review this shit. Of course, if you remember previous podcasts, me and Rock both reviewed his TV show that's on Netflix, the Vince Staples Show. Super funny. Vince is a funny dude. When it comes to rap and hip hop, Vince has this type of humor that just, even in his interviews, when people are interviewing him, that man be dead serious. He be dead serious, straight face. But what he says be the truth, and it be funny. He don't hide how he's feeling. Like when the whole Drake versus Kendrick war happened. And I'm not gonna harp on that, but someone had interviewed him and asked him a question how he felt about it, and he was like, I don't give a damn about two dudes arguing with each other. Let's talk about how these record labels are ripping us off of our money. And still, like, he went on a rant about the music industry, and he pivoted that question and he was speaking truth. He was speaking facts, but at the same time, it was funny as hell. It was like, damn, I would hate to be the person who asked him that fucking question. I bet they was turning red, like, oh shit, I should never ask him. Because they thought that Vince Staples was going to be like a gossipy type guy, which he's never been that guy in his whole career, where he's sitting there gossiping, talking about, well, I'm team this, I'm team that. He said, they two grown men arguing. I don't give a damn. They ain't paying my bills. Let's talk about these record labels and how they cheating us out these streaming services. Like, it was like, I love Vince. Vince is one of my favorite LA rappers, especially from the new age, the new school. I try not to judge the newer artists or the younger artists or rappers who are younger than me for their music. But Vince is like, he's been in the game for like almost 10 years now. But he's one of those younger cats who has a real old soul. Like, he meshed well with the old school hip hop. Like, if you listen to the old school hip hop heads, you like all those, the Wu-Tang Clans and all them other people, the 50 Cents and stuff like that. If you say that's my type of music, you can listen to a young guy like Vince and feel that same feeling as you will the old school shit. And he really showed that with Dark Times. Dark Times is very, very pro-black. It's very, very Vince. One thing I love about Vince, you could tell he grew up in the hood. You could tell he may have or grew up with the affiliations of some, gang members. I'm not saying he is a gang member, but he may have some close ties, but he doesn't boast about it. He doesn't brag about it. Matter of fact, all his music since he's been in the game has been like a warning to people like, yo, being a gang member is not cool. It might be a necessity for some people for protection. It might be a necessity for some people in our culture to help, feed their families because they're in dark times. Hence the album entitled "They're in Dark Times." They're going through some dark shit, and so they have to do something to get their way through this world. But it ain't cool. Like, Vince makes you feel like, how when we grew up, everybody talked about how lame it is to be a nerd, how lame it is to be into comics and into, anime. So, like, how we were shamed growing up for being into video games and shit like that. Vince does that with the gang culture. He does that with the thug life and the like. He makes you feel he kind of slick shames you into being a Crip or a Blood or a Vice or whoever. I don't know all the guys' names because I'm not in that life, but he was like, "Oh, you sell drugs, you lame. You do this, you lame." Like he does it in a cool, dope way with his raps, with his lyrics, with his the music production. Oh my gosh, whoever he had produced this album. Matter of fact, let me go look at the credits right quick on Spotify. Um, Whoever he had producing making these beats, oh my gosh, somebody give that man a raise, or them, or whoever, them people a raise, because the instrumentals was fire. Um, let's see. It like shit. This album was fucking amazing. Let's see credits. Composer, producer Tyler Page and LaKen Tyler. They need raises. Somebody need to give them raises. Vince, give them raises. Pay them once the record label pays you. Those people who produce and Brazen, who produced this album, Def Jam, pay all them folks, because this album was damn near perfect. It's a great now this isn't an album you listen to maybe one song to work out with. Maybe one song, it's kind of like that LA bounce type beat. I would say that, but only one song on the album does that. Everything else is it's more like a, I won't say backpack rap, but kind of in that vein, kind of in that ilk. It's literally is a road trip album, in my opinion, where you're just riding in your car vibing. Or if you're cleaning your house, cut it on and just let it rock. Like, there's no skips. Even the interludes, which isn't a lot. I think he only had 2 interludes in this whole album. Even the interludes with the music production, with the speaking or the spoken word that was in it, it was like, it's a beautiful, beautiful album. The lyrics, of course, Vince is going to be serious in some and funny in others. He's going to be comical in some, and and he's a great storyteller. There are some songs where you can really picture in your mind as he's rapping what he's rapping about. Like, it's like watching a movie. And one song, and if you watched his TV show, the Vince Staples show, there's one song in particular where I felt like it should have been the outro, or at least the song played at the very end of the finale episode for season 1. It's called Children's Song. Basically he was telling his ops, go out and play with your kids, don't play with me. Basically, like, because I will fuck you up. Like, go play with your kids, don't come play with me. But that song, man, that was amazing. And as I'm listening to, I'm like, this should have been on the last. This song should have been on the final episode of his show. I think if you're not into rap, if you're not into hip hop, if that's not your vibe as a genre, I feel like you can listen to Vince Staples' Dark Times. If hip hop is your vibe, if you love rap and that's all you listen to, hence Wiz, who don't like the whole R&B singy songy stuff, this is the album for you, bro. Like, Vince Staples, this is my gotta be top 5 albums right now. Right now, as it stands, until somebody drops some music out of nowhere. Right now, Vince Staples' Dark Times is top 5, definitely top 10 albums this year. I've been listening to this on repeat since it's been out. My go-to songs that I like, one is a word that I don't know, charge it to my head, not my heart. It's called Etufe. It's Etouffee. I don't know what the hell that is, but That song is a bop. I like it. Little Homies, amazing. Why Won't the Sun Come Out? Good, it's good. Shame on the Devil, children's song. Government Cheese is pretty nice, but it's not a repeat song for me. And of course, Black and Blue. Black and Blue is that shit. That is my favorite song off the album. But those are just some highlights. Like I said, this album is really no skips. You can play it from beginning to end, great, and enjoy it. But those were my top songs that I recommend. But I give Vince Staples' Dark Times a 10 out of 10, in my opinion. Like I said, Vince is one of those rappers. He will talk about the gang life. He will talk about the thug life. He's not afraid to talk about things that's going on in Black culture, but he don't glorify it. If he does the exact opposite, he would shame you. Like, you like that thug gang shit, you a loser. Like, there's nothing cool about killing each other and and robbing each other and murdering people, and like, and he can do it so elegantly. I can't even talk shit. My bad, yeah. My tongue got tied, but he can do it effortlessly and beautifully. How kind of like the vein of NWA's "Fuck the Police," but in a cooler way, in a way for 2024 times. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say "fuck the police," but I'm gonna say a line in a bar so hard that you gonna feel that sentiment, and you're gonna be like, damn, like, oh shit. But I love Vince Staples. I think this was a great project of his. And I want more. He got me wanting more. It's only like 13 songs. Well, if you don't include the interludes, it's probably 10 songs if you take out the interludes. And he got me wanting more. I want his show to come back for a season 2. And I want, give me a Dark Times Deluxe. Like, motherfucker, like, come on, Vince. I know you just dropped, but I need some more songs. I know it's some in that hard drive that you ain't released yet. But anyways, I had a great enjoyment of that album. 10 out of 10. Definitely on my top 10 list. And I suggest you listen to it, whether you're a hip hop head or not. Let's see. Let's see what y'all talking about. The Bear. The Bear is in the house. What up, bro? Thank you for tapping in. Thank you. Who else have I missed in the comments? Justin, Pressure P, and of course, Kyle and Alex. Thank y'all for tapping in. Let's see. Girl Next Door, what it do? Thanks for tapping in. Thank y'all. They say, why how come no comments are popping up? You can't get any cooler than "Fuck the Police." Thank you, Bear. Thank you. That's what's up. All right, you're right, Kendo. You can't get any cooler than that. But oh yeah, I do gotta smurf some people. Sorry. Please stand by for our commercial break while I do this. Smurf some folks. Matter of fact, while I'm smurfing, for those who came in late, let's do a little countdown. All right, I'm back. Since I had to smurf some folks, I didn't want it to be dead space where nothing was happening or being said. But thank y'all. Okay, I think we're all caught up. Now, I've done one movie review. I've done one music review. Let's get to the second movie review. Let's see. And that is A Quiet Place Day One. So, For those who don't know, for the longest time, the very first A Quiet Place was my favorite horror movie of all time. Yep. And I had no shame in it. Yes, even better than the classics that y'all know, from the 80s to the 90s, slashers, things like that. Sir, I'm sorry, I'm dog sitting and the dog just doing too much. um, I've always told people, when people say, what's your favorite scary movie? A Quiet Place was that. I just said it straight off the bat, the first film. And it did what no other movie could do. It shut people the fuck up. That movie did the impossible. A Quiet Place, the first one, because of the premise. The premise is you have monsters that if they hear a noise, if they hear a sound, they're going to kill you. And so the whole movie, you had this family trying to survive this world post-apocalyptic with these monsters where you cannot speak. And luckily for them, they had a daughter who was deaf. So they already knew how to speak sign language, and all they had to do was just teach the little kids how to speak a sign language, you know what I'm saying? Because their oldest daughter was deaf. So it worked perfectly for them to survive as long as they did. And I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen the first A Quiet Place, but because it's a horror film and it's a monster movie, some people didn't make it. But the reason why most of the family survived the way they did is because, unlike some humans who could not shut the fuck up and got killed, they were able to speak a sign language and not say a word. And, they learned how to operate in the world, going to the store to get groceries. Well, it wasn't like going to the store like you paying for shit. Like you had to sneak in, go into the building, get some food, get your rations, get your medications, and run the fuck up out of there as quietly as possible. But that movie was so perfect, it's so genius that it was able to get even the audience watching the movie in theaters to just sit there and shut the fuck up. Because y'all know how it is in scary movies. Y'all know it's a tradition. People go to the movie theaters to talk shit, especially the horror films. We go to the movie theaters and we're yelling, telling people, run, bitch, run. He's right behind you. Don't go in there. Like, it's an experience. It's a movie going experience. That's when you have a good time. But when A Quiet Place first dropped, that first film, everybody was quiet. People were scared to chew their popcorn heavy. Like, they was like, I ain't never been to a movie theater so quiet. I take that back. The movie theater was real quiet on Infinity War, whichever Marvel movie. I think it was Avengers Infinity War. At the end, the finale, when people start disappearing and dying off because he snapped his finger, Thanos snapped his finger, and people start that movie theater got quiet when nobody saying nothing, when nobody breathing heavy. That's how. But A Quiet Place was that film from beginning to end. Did nobody say shit until they got out, until the credits roll, and then we walked out the theater. Like that was, and so A Quiet Place will always hold a special place in my heart. And then A Quiet Place 2 came out. And for me, it was a great, solid sequel. It was an amazing, perfect sequel to, to see how the family is surviving post the first film after they lost a couple of family members, how the remaining family members survive and continue on. And not to spoil the first film, but they kind of figured out how, maybe not how to kill the monsters, but at least how to weaken them and they found their triggers and what fucks them up. And so they were going around trying to help other people, save other people from these monsters, using what they figured out at the end of the first film, how they could, kill these monsters. But now here we are years later, they decided to give us a prequel, A Quiet Place Day 1, which is supposed to show us what happened the first day these monsters arrived on Earth. Because they are alien beings, but what happened before everybody realized that noise is what fucks them up, what triggers them. And I love that the setting in this movie, the setting of this film, is the city that never fucking sleeps in New York. If you talk about noise, talk about loudness, talk about triggering a monster who does not like sound, dropping them motherfuckers in New York City. It's like dropping them it's like dropping a monster who doesn't like lights in Vegas at nighttime on the Vegas Strip, like with all those lights and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, like you would give a monster epilepsy. Like that was the perfect premise and setting for this film, for it to be the first day that the monsters ever showed up, and they land on this planet where it's just a lot of noise and a lot of things that could fuck your ears up. And so you just want to kill and thrash and destroy everything just to make it quiet. I love this premise. So I was quick to go to the theaters when it dropped. Because I said, I want to see how long it took these humans to figure out that they need to shut the fuck up in order to survive. Like, how long did it take them to realize, oh, it's noise? The fact that I'm screaming and running from these monsters is why they killing me, because I can't shut, because I'm just hollering. And I like that they have a star-studded cast. Lupita Nyong'o, she's like one of my favorite actresses right now. Like, amazing. Everything she touches, everything she's acted in, she gives it her all, 110%. And she is amazing of a character in this story. I do like. Now, I will say this. If you watch The Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2, the tone in this one is a whole lot different from the previous. But I'm not mad at that because I feel like it makes sense. We don't have the original family in this story. We have totally new characters because this is day one. This is the first day that these aliens drop down on Earth. The reason why the tone is different, minus, different writers and stuff like that and producers. The reason why the tone in this film is so different from the previous, and it makes a lot of sense, is because no character will know how to act around these monsters. The first A Quiet Place, it's been some years. It's been a minute. These monsters have been around, so people have learned, the remaining survivors have learned how to operate on this earth with these creatures. Whereas this is very first time, I don't know what the fuck this is. All I know is that we are dying. It's chaos. It's madness. So of course the tone of the film and the story is going to be different because it's a totally different dynamic. We don't know what is going on. We just live in our everyday lives, and all of a sudden some aliens coming down and killing us. And it's a totally different settings with totally different characters. So every human being is going to react to trauma in a different way. The whole fight or flight. You're going to have some people, if this was to happen in real time, you're going to have some people who go out and get their guns and try to shoot these monsters. Then you're going to have some people who are going to run, scream, holler, and push folks out the way to get to safety. Then you're going to have some people who just going to freeze, stare, and look at the monster until they get killed. So I get the tone difference, but it did not take away from the story. The story was amazing. I don't want to spoil anything because I really want y'all to go see it if y'all haven't seen it. But the characters, you really do feel for these characters, and you really want these characters to survive, especially that damn cat. There's a cat in this movie. He's been in all the promos, and that cat is the best fucking character in this thing. Film, but you really want these folks to survive. Even the most annoying characters that you like, oh my gosh, why are you this dumb? Why are you this dumb? A part of you, well, at least for me, a part of me was like, I don't want you to die, but if you die, I understand because you're just stupid. But the main characters, they were great. They had great chemistry together, and I was rooting for them through and through. And I was like, Lord, please let them figure out what we already know about the monsters. We as the audience, because we've seen the first films. Please let them hurry up and figure out 2 + 2 makes 4. Like, noise is, we just got to shut up. Be quiet. Don't say a word. And don't be around no noisy motherfucker who's going to get us killed. Like, I just, I was rooting for, and this one is way more action packed. It's like, dang, what was that? Cloverfield, the first Cloverfield movie where people are, in the city, these monsters come down. It was that chaotic, that intense, that action packed. And like I said, the tone is different from the first 2 films, but it made sense to me. It wasn't like something jumping the shark. It wasn't like a movie jumping the shark going completely 180 and you like, what the fuck? Like, this makes no sense. Like, the writing team and the directors, they did a really, really good job at keeping the lore of these monsters, keeping the continuity and the consistency of these monsters and how they operate, to where it made sense for them to be in this city running around killing folks, because they motherfucking are triggered by all this noise that's going on and all this chaos that they caused for even landing on Earth. um but yeah, A Quiet Place Day One, I love it. I think that you should watch this movie first because it is a prequel and it makes sense. I think you should go to the theaters and watch this movie first and then go home. I don't know what streaming services the first two A Quiet Place are. You probably just rent it for a couple of bucks on like Amazon or something like that. But after that, then watch the first two in order so you can get the field of things. I think watching it in the timeline continuity will work, and you will see and understand why the family of the first two films operated the way they did. And so yeah, I really, really love this film. This is an amazing film. If I gave the first A Quiet Place a 10 out of 10, this is a 9 out of 10. Very close, very, very close. Again, the tone was a little different. It was a lot more funny, a lot more jokes in this one. But it all made sense because it's day one. It's in the title. It's the first day that these motherfuckers came and fucked shit up. uh, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I highly recommend it, and it was worth the 15 bucks matinee that I spent going to the theater to see. It was worth it. I don't know what y'all prices at y'all movie theaters, but it was worth it in my eyes. It was worth the money. But if you want to wait till it comes on streaming, you can. But I highly recommend you watch it though, regardless. Let's see. I've never seen it. I love horror. I must watch it now. Yeah, I love it. I love the whole Quiet Place series. If you've never seen the first one is top notch. It is amazing. Again, when people would ask, "What's your favorite scary movie?" A Quiet Place one was is up there. It's like the number one, and to me, for me, and how I operate and what I like to scare the fuck out of me. Ro, Mr. Floppy, what it do? I know you've been working in the field. They've been killing you up there. But thank you for tapping in, bro. Let's see. Ken said, I have to go back and watch the beginning, but Beverly Hills Cop was good. I feel it goes right with the 80s and 90s version of the movie. I agree. I agree. It was a great continuity of it. And the tone, the jokes, everything goes. It was great. It was amazing. Father Dunn said, "Nah, you're gonna hear me eating my popcorn." Father Dunn, if you was in that theaters for the first Quiet Place, everybody would have turned around and looked at you like, "Sir." Everybody would have turned into a Karen on your ass real quick. Like, no, you're not making a noise. As if the monster gonna come out the screen and get you. But that's how good and effective that first film was. That's how great that first film was, to where you was just like, I don't want to sneeze in this motherfucker. I got a tickle in my throat, and I don't want to cough at the moment. I'm scared them monsters about to get me. But yeah, definitely go and watch A Quiet Place Day One. And if you have not seen the first two A Quiet Places, definitely watch it. It was very smart. I think his name is John Krasinski. He's the dad and the main character of the first film. He wrote and directed this film, this series, and great job. I don't think he directed this prequel, but he did consult with them. Who he did work behind the scenes consulting. I think he's a producer, listed as a producer, because it is his franchise, it's his story. But he did a great job, and I think that was his directing and writing debut, because he's an actor. He's been an actor for years, and that was his, for that to be your first film, A Quiet Place. He ain't got to act no more. He ain't got to do shit for the rest of his career, because that was a perfect first film to be a writer director, an actor turned writer director. Let's see. Banner says, my boyfriend don't watch scary movies. I'm too much of a bitch to watch them by myself. I think the Quiet Place series, because it's not a slasher, it's not a Jason or Freddy or and it's not that let me see your guts hang out. It's not that type of film. It's kind of like in the vein of Aliens, the first Aliens. It's kind of like in that vein where you have a little bit more action and drama than you do scary, like jump scares. You know what I'm saying? Where somebody's like, "Raw." I mean, it is jump scares. Like if you hear a leaf crackling, if you hear a toy go off, you're like, "Ah, shit." It's very suspenseful, but not like slasher murder guts hanging out type scary movie. It's not like that. Is very tame in the blood department is what I'm saying, but it's still suspenseful though. It's suspenseful as fuck. There isn't no cat better than the cat in the Marvel movies. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the famous cat. That's the famous cat. Yeah. Let's see. Girl next door said, definitely gonna watch them now. I could not tell you the last time I watched any movie or show. Haven't, man. When I tell you 90%, no, I'm 80% of what I watch is just YouTube, either podcasts, movie reviews, because I watch other critics, little short episodes that independent artists make, and they put like TV series that they might put on YouTube or stuff like that. That's pretty much all I watch. And then stuff that like movies that I want to watch or TV shows, like I'm watching the Star Wars show on Disney Plus, and I'm watching House of Dragon. Review coming soon, featuring RO. Review is coming soon once that season's up. I have to make time to watch that shit. Sometimes I can't even watch it the day it comes out, the day it premieres, um, because I don't have time. I work in education, and I'm a breeder, and my snakes do the whole photography, photo shoot stuff. Like I'm always busy as fuck. So just sitting down watching TVs, I have to force myself. When I plan these podcasts and these reviews, I'm like, okay, what do I need to watch to review? And that's how I force myself to do it. And I have to schedule it. I literally have to schedule for this show what I'm watching. Like, okay, Monday, I ain't got nothing to do. Let me watch it then. Let me watch on this day. And it's easier for me during these summer months because school is out. But once school is back in, I gotta adjust the schedule because it's gonna be like, damn, what day can I watch a movie? Which probably for me, it's probably gonna be Sundays, honestly. Once school starts back and I'm back at work, I probably won't be able to see a new movie until Sunday, which means I have to watch it. I have to review it a previous week. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't just watch TV just to watch TV anymore. You know how you can sit down and just watch Grey's Anatomy just because. Nah, I'm on YouTube listening to y'all podcasts and y'all shows and stuff, or watching other critics talk about movies that I don't go see. Like if I know I'm not gonna go see a movie or I have no desire to go see a movie, I'll go watch someone else review those and tell me about it, whether it's worth my time or not. But big stuff like Deadpool and Wolverine, I gotta watch it. I'm a Marvel nerd. I gotta make time for that shit. And scary movies, scary horror films is my favorite genre. So I make time for stuff like that. Let's see. The Happening was a good movie. Oh man, I forgot all about that, but yeah, it was. Oh, no problem. No problem, bro. Uh okay. We're almost at the home stretch, and I told y'all we are gonna be more than an hour on this show. But it's a mega movie review. I should not have canceled last week. It's the super duper mega movie review episode. And speaking of Meg, our last album review is my wannabe dream baby mama, Megan Thee Stallion, Meg's album. Let me pull up my Spotify. So when I'm talking about certain songs I like, I actually can name them. And I can shout the producers out on this too, because the production on this is amazing. Okay, let's see. Okay, so did not mean to play that. YouTube, do not flag me. Okay, so let's go. Okay, album credits. Booyah. All right. Now, earlier this month or late last month, Meg The Stallion dropped her album, her self-titled album, Megan, which she's been dropping singles for the past year now. She did Cobra. And you know, Megan is one of them rappers who is big into animals and anime. So her whole production and her whole promo has been nothing but snakes, reptiles, and anime characters, which my nerdy ass love. You are if you got a fine black woman into anime, you won me. And if you got a fine ass black woman into snakes, bingo. So I was like, when this album dropped, I said, look, your promos alone earn a listen from me. Earn me to listen to your album. So I went and listened to it. Now I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Megan Thee Stallion is known for the, let's say, category ghetto music, hood music, twerking music, strip club music. She's always been known that, you know, in the vein of the Cardi B's of the world. But some of y'all only know Megan Thee Stallion's music off of the radio hits, off of whatever music videos drop or whatever the commercials play. That's what y'all know, like when she did WAP with Cardi B. That's what, when people think of Meg Thee Stallion, the first thing they think of is that. But I remember when Meg Thee Stallion first came out and was dropping mixtapes, and she was going by the alter ego Tina Snow. Tina Snow was in the vein of the Nicki Minaj's, and when she's on her rapidy rap shit, when she's showing I can rap as good as the guys, and I ain't got to talk about shaking my ass. I can talk about some real shit. And so I think this album was a perfect blend of both. She had the introspective songs like Cobra, where she was talking about, I think it was Cobra, or maybe it's another one. No, it was Cobra, where she was talking about her depression, you know, going through that whole Tory Lanez trial, getting shot, people talking shit about her, saying she's a liar, and, you know, saying she was suicidal and stuff like that. She had songs talking about that deep shit. She had songs talking about, you know, my man ain't shit, he cheated on me, breaking up on me. She had that stuff. But she also gave you the party dance, shake your booty songs. And I felt like this album was a perfect blend of both. Do I feel like she could have did more of the rapidy rap Tina Snow? Let me just give you bars type. I would love to have more of that because Megan can do it. She has shown and proven. You listen to her early mixtapes and her first album, not her first official album with like Def Jam, but I mean not Def Jam, Rock Nation, but when you listen to the stuff she did before she like quote unquote blew up, she can do that. She can do that bar for bar rapidy rap shit. Where it ain't all about shaking your ass. Like she can give you those. And I would like more of that as she continues to progress and grow as an artist and as a woman, a human being. I would love to hear more of those bars because I like that shit. I love when women in hip hop talk they shit, like the Rhapsodies of the world. Speaking of which, I need to review Rhapsody's album, but I have not finished it. But so far, it is so good. If you like just pure rap hip hop, like the MC Lights of the world or the Queen Latifahs of the world, y'all should be listening to Rhapsody. Rhapsody is that girl. She don't get a lot of play and she don't get a lot of love, but y'all need to tune and tap into Rhapsody. That woman, she ain't talking about twerking. She ain't talking about shaking your ass. She is on that real hip hop bar shit, like that shit, like the Commons and the Method Mans and all. She talking that shit. Like, if she can rap better than a lot of these guys. I think, honestly, quiet as it's kept, I think Rhapsody could go bar for bar against Kendrick or J. Cole. Like, I feel like she could, if y'all put her in a song with one of them, feature one of them, she would murder them lyrically. Like, lyrically, I think she could, or at least be tied with them. So yeah, I will be, once I finish Rhapsody's album, I will review that maybe in a week or two. But my point is, Megan has that capability. She could do that. And me as a hip hop fan would like to see more of that. But again, she has to feed her audience. She has to feed the people who got her to where she is today. And that is to shake your ass, twerky twerk shit. So she does have a little bit of both in this album, but it's good. To me, it worked. It flowed. Nothing seemed off or jarring or like hell. Why is this song on here? Like I didn't feel that when I listened to this album. Some highlight songs that I do like. Y'all know I'm a Memphis man. I'm a Memphis man all day. So the first song I listened to as soon as the album dropped was the song she has with Glorilla, fellow Mythian. It's called Accent, perfectly titled, and I loved it. You know, Glow is in her shit in her bag, and Megan's in her bag, and I like them two together. They need to do a joint album together. They already on tour together. They've been touring together all year, all summer. I think I think if you're gonna give me the twerk stripper music, the club anthem music, Glow and Meg need to have a collab album or at least a collab mixtape where you give me at least 5 or 6 of these songs and I'll be satisfied. So I love that. I love Boa. Of course, I had to go to all the tracks that refers to like snakes or titles or anime, and Boa is one of those. Super good. Bass, Bas, featuring Kyle Rich is a great one. Rattle, Rattle and Hiss are the first 2 songs on the album, and it's just Megan, no features. And I love both of them. Of course, we all know Hiss. It was the diss track where she went off on everybody. She went off on Tory Lanez. She went off on Drake. She went off on Nicki Minaj. She went off on everybody who talked shit about her during her trial, and talking about her getting shot and stuff. And she did that famous bar. These hoes don't be mad at Megan. They be mad at Megan's Law, which was shot at Nicki Minaj and her pedophile husband. Because Megan's Law is the reason why her husband can't be within a school district's building, like because of his sex offender status. So to me, his is like, of course, Kendrick Lamar's "They Not Like Us" is the #1 diss song of the year of 2024. His is #2. If we talking about rappers dissing each other this year, his was #2. And his showed that Nicki isn't the best when she's unhinged and emotional. Because when Nicki dropped Bigfoot to retaliate against his, she was so unhinged that she even lost her superpowers as being that girl who can rhyme and who can rap and who can shoot bars. Like she dethroned Nicki on a diss track. And when Nicki's rebuttal was so whack, it made Meek Mill's disses to Drake look like poetry. That's how whack Nicki Minaj was, but I digress. To me, that was Bigfoot was the worst diss song, period, ever to exist. Out of all the diss tracks in the world, Bigfoot is the worst one. And his was the perfect song to dethrone Miss Minaj. And I'm a Nicki Minaj fan. I've been a Barb since the beginning. I love her, but I can admit, unlike some of these stands and these fans, I can admit when my favorite artists give me some whack shit. I can admit that. I'm not ashamed to say, oh, this ain't the one. Go back in the drawing board and try again. This ain't the one, baby. Try again. So, yeah. So, Hiss and Rattle. Always those 2 tracks on all my playlists, my workout playlist, my getting ready for the day playlist, all that jazz. Find Out was a good one. She also has this song with a Jap. I want to say K-pop artist. I could be wrong, or a J-pop artist, but his name is Yoki Chiba. He's like a Korean rapper, and she raps. It's called Masushi or Mamushi. Sorry, Mamushi. She raps in his language, in his native language, and it is fire. It is fire, and you can tell she's really like she really studied and honed that language for this song. And she even said it in interviews, like she was asking him, how do you say this in your language? How you say that? And he was telling her how to, rap the lyrics in his language. And this song is a bop. This song is bop. Even if you don't listen to Japanese or Korean music like K-pop or J-pop, if it works. Just like I can listen to Bad Bunny's music and not know what the fuck he's saying, but it's just a vibe. This song is a vibe and it's amazing. So I love Mamushi. That's one of my favorites on there. Paper Together with UGK. That Texas. That Texas vibe, that Texas rap. Woo, that was a good one. That was a great one. I love that one. If you don't like Paper Together, I don't know what to tell you. You just don't like. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That shit was great. Of course, she had to get into her R&B sexy bag. With Spin featuring my other baby mama, dream baby mama, Victoria Monet. Talk about a sexy song. I love it. It was great, amazing. That's also on my list of Miami Blue, featuring Big Crit and Buddha Bliss. We need to talk about big. We need to. I need to do an episode on underrated rappers because Schoolboy Q is on their list, Ab Soul is on their list, and I feel like Big Crit, especially when it comes to the South. When you talk about Southern rappers, Southern hip hop rappers from like the Houstons, the Atlantas, the Tennessees of the world, the Alabamas, Big Crit is so underrated. But every record that either he makes himself or he's featured on, to me, turns into gold. I run to a Big Crit song or a song featuring Big Crit real fast. If I ever see it pop up on my Spotify, he is so underrated. He don't get the love that he deserves. When it comes to Southern rap, Southern hip hop, them bars, he is definitely that. And so when I saw that he was on this album for Miami Blue, I ran in that one, and that's another great bop. Like I said, this album, she gives you a little bit of everything. She gives you the bars, the hip hop, like let me just rap for a little bit just to show them that I can do it. And then she, for the ladies, she give, okay, now it's that twerking music. It's those club anthems. It's that, we dancing in the strip club, throwing that money, shaking that ass. She gives you a little bit of both. And I love this. So for Megan, for this to be, I think this is her second official album, not a mixtape, or third, whichever one. Either way, Megan is a great, great body of work. It's a great album. Will it be nominated for a Grammy? I doubt it. But as far as the everyday average Joe person listening, I think she gives something for everybody. The fun stuff, the introspective stuff, the I'm sad, depressed stuff. She gives you some of everything. And I love Megan. I love her as an artist. She's just real dope. And I have no complaints. I give this album 10 out of 10 for me. For me. I'm not saying you have to rate the same way or feel the same way I do. But for me, I've been listening since this album dropped. I've been going back listening to this stuff over and over. Some of these songs, not the whole album, but some of these songs over and over. Like the one with Miami Blue, Spin, Paper Together, Cobra. I love Cobra. Hiss. I go back to these songs all the time. And so I loved it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. Will it make my top 10 list? Probably not, just because so many albums have dropped so far. And this is only July. We still got the rest of the year. So many albums have dropped so far. And I listen to other genres. I listen to pop. Now I've been listening to country. Now that Beyonce introduced me to a lot of Black country artists. Y'all know I love EDM. I've been listening to Afro beats like Burna Boy and them. I listen to so many genres that I cannot definitively say that this album is going to be top 10 at the end of the year, but it's so good. I could say maybe top 15, top 20. I can say that I enjoy this and I will go back to these songs over and over again months from now. I can let y'all know because a lot of these songs are on my workout playlist. So when I'm walking or I'm lifting weights and stuff, I'm listening to this shit. So I will. So it may not be top 10. We'll see at the end of the year, but it is up there. It's a dope project for the year 2024. I can't complain. Cannot complain at all of this. So if you like Meg, if you already like Megan, this album is for you. If you're already a Meg Thee Stallion fan, this album for you. If you're not a Meg Thee Stallion fan, or all you know about Megan is, the WAPs, with Cardi B and those type songs, I would say give this a try. Give it a listen. Go to the ones where she's featuring other rappers like UGK or Victoria Monet. You might get a different opinion after listening to some of the songs that don't make the radio, the B-sides. You might get a different opinion when you listen to songs outside of what the radio heads give us. You know what I'm saying? Just my opinion. Let's see. Ooh, the The comments been popping. Sorry, y'all. Stan, the man. What it do, Stan? Thank you for tapping in, bro. Thank you for tapping in. Dartsy Edits. I don't know who you are, but hey, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Worst take ever. Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Hey, a broken clock can be right twice a day. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't even know who you are. But that's okay. That is okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Hey, the best thing about music and movies, it's all subjective. There's a lot of things y'all like the rant I'm about to have in a second. There's a lot of things that people say they love or they like or they enjoy that I hate. And I'm about to get on that just a second. So stick around, Darcy Edits. Stick around. You're allowed to have your opinion, and I'm allowed to have mine. And I hope that we can still enjoy each other's company for the time being of this show. Rock, what it do? The Serpent Nerd. Thank you for tapping in. Got to get busy cleaning and feeding these reptiles. Y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you, girl next door. Thank you for tapping in. All right. Now, for the finale of this episode, before I let y'all go about y'all day and have a wonderful Saturday, I just need to have a come to Jesus meeting with Tyler Perry. I need to have a come to Jesus meeting with Mr. Tyler Perry. So, and this is not gonna, it is gonna be a review, but it's not gonna be a review. I'm done. That's the stance I'm making today on this episode. On episode 40, I'm making the stance, y'all. I'm done. I am no longer, this is me, Prince Elias, Creative Reptiles, Snake Cinema Podcast. Will never, after today, will never, ever review another Tyler Perry film again. I'm never going to watch another Tyler Perry film. I'm done. I've had it. Tyler Perry is unhinged. He is unhinged. He really hates Black women. If you look at all this content that he's been making, he's been very theme about it. He really hates Black women. He really feeds off Black women's trauma. He really likes to give us stories where Black women are just being abused after abuse after abuse. He needs help. He also needs help in the writing department. He always brags in interviews and other things how he writes everything. He writes all his TV shows. He writes all his movies. He doesn't have any co-writers, any helper. And he always complained that the last time he had other people writing with him, that's when, his work wasn't as good. In his opinion, his work wasn't as good or as quality, or that's when people start complaining. Nah, bro. I think that's a cop-out. I think you're throwing people under the bus. I think that it's just some bullshit. Your worst products have been the stuff that you're writing by yourself with no other help. It's okay to have extra writers. And I will give Tyler Perry this. Tyler Perry has brought a lot of Black people money, especially the actors. I commend him for that. I commend him for giving a lot of Black people jobs, with his studio in Atlanta. I commend him for the accomplishments he made to go from being homeless, sleeping in your car, to being this multi-billionaire of the likes of Oprah and doing your thing, being rejected by movie studios, being rejected by this, being rejected by that, and then going out and creating your own table, your own lane, to now people are now wanting you to buy BET and be owner of BET. Like, I commend you for your accomplishments. But as a writer, you need help. We need better stories. We also need better wigs. I know you've been a little cheap in the budget department, and it's been showing. Like the last couple of projects you did with Netflix, them wigs been looking trash, bro. You can't give nobody a decent hairline, bro. Like, you can cut your budget, but not cut the quality of storytelling. That's the thing. It's okay to cut your budget. It's okay, because horror movies do it all the time. That's why I love the genre. Horror films can do so much with so little. They can tell you a great story. They can scare the shit out of you. They can be suspenseful. They can do all this shit with just a little budget. Some of the best horror films that's been coming out lately have been like $10,000 budgets, barely making ends meet, barely, you got a couple of college kids with their little cameras that they got from Target. They're not on those big red studio cameras. You know what I'm saying? And they make masterpiece because of the writing, because of the acting, because of the storytelling. I feel like Tyler Perry, the more money he got, the storytelling has been slacking. He just dropped a film called Divorce in Black. It's on Amazon Prime. If you want to watch it, watch it. That's all up to you. I'm just letting you know right now. The first 10 minutes, I logged off. After the first 10 minutes, I logged off. And everybody online was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is great. Oh my gosh, this was good. We love Tyler Perry, yada, yada, yada. I was like, before I give my take and say it's trash, let me go finish. Because I don't want to be those critics who call something trash and they don't watch it from start to finish. So I went back and I watched it from beginning to end. Even though the first 10 minutes pissed me off and irritated me, I went back and finished the whole thing from beginning credits to the end credits. And as I said, after watching the first 10 minutes and logging off, this is some bullshit. This writing is trash. Tyler Perry is insulting his audience. He's insulting his community. He's insulting the very people who made him rich. Black women has been his number one supporters. They've been rocking with him since his play days, his plays and stuff like that. And he is constantly beating it over the head that they are just filled with trauma. Their lives are just filled with trauma. My boyfriend, not only does my boyfriend cheat on me, but he gives me A's. Not only does my husband cheat on me, but he beats me and put my brain in. Not only did my man lie and cheat on me, but he threw my kids out the window. Like it's just too extreme. It's soap opera. It's unnecessary soap opera, and and I can understand you talk about trauma, or you talk about DV, domestic violence, or you talk about relations between men and women, and the story is good or the plot makes sense. He be having so many plot holes that don't make no sense, or he be having characters do things that even the average everyday person would not have done or should have done. Like in this movie, and I'm not reviewing this fucking movie because I hate it. There were so many things that the main character should have done to not get to where they got to toward the end, but for some reason they didn't. And I'm just like, y'all, what the fuck? Like the choices that these characters made. Again, the acting was good. Megan Good did the best she could with the script she got. All the supporting characters, even the no good fucking husband. The actor's name is Corey Harwood. He did amazing playing the bad guy. He did great playing the bad guy. It's the story. It's the plot. It's the writing. The writing is so frustrating, makes so sense. These actors had to work hard to make this entertaining. They had to work hard to make this somewhat of a decent film. And by decent, I mean barely watchable. And usually I don't judge people who say they like it. And I'm not judging nobody. I'm not going, if you like this film, if you watch this movie and you liked it, good for you. I'm glad you got something out of it. Maybe you relate to the character. Maybe you've been through similar situations. I don't know. Maybe you just like seeing trauma this way. I don't know. So I'm not going to judge you for liking the film. I just feel like he's insulting us all. He just writing stuff just to write stuff without any thought of how to execute it. I'm done. After today, I'm never watching another Tyler Perry film again. I don't care how good it is. He could come out with one film 10 years from now and it win an Oscar. I'm not watching that shit. I'm done. I'm not reviewing it. I'm done. I'm getting off this abuse train that Tyler Perry is doing to his community. I'm getting off. Because why am I continue to watch and review shit if I know it's going to piss me off? I went in with low expectations to begin with. And then I felt like insulted even though I had low expectations. Like, I'm done. I'm getting off this hype train. I'm getting off this abuse train. I am spending my 2 hours or my money or my time in art and things that I like, and people and writers who actually know what the fuck they're doing. Again, I commend Tyler Perry for all his accomplishments. I commend his life story is something to be to look up to. He's a very inspiring, inspirational man. He actually has a documentary where he talks about his life and his mom and stuff like that. I think it's on Amazon Prime as well. Um, People should watch it. His story is incredible. His life story is incredible. His plays, when he started writing plays, wonderful, great, entertaining, funny, make you laugh, make you cry. It's amazing. The writing. He refuses to have people help him. He's refusing to have other writers. And he could get black writers. You don't have to have a whole bunch of Caucasian people. If you want everything to be black owned and black worked and black, there are black women writers who you can hire. Hell, hire Issa Rae. Hire some of these young girls who are out here doing the thing, doing the work, because they got a mind that's out the wazoo. You can hire some writers. Hell, collab with what's the woman who created Shonda Rhimes, who created Grey's Anatomy and Scandal and stuff. You can find some writers that are black, that are women, especially when you write these trauma. If you want to write about trauma, if you want to write about abuse, if you want to write about, a black woman getting beat upside the head by her husband, get some black women as your writers. You ain't got to do it all. This was shit. If you want to watch Divorced and the Black do that, I'm done. After today, after this episode 40 on July 20th, 2024, Elias, Creative Reptile Snakes in the Podcast, will never do anything Tyler Perry related again. Not a review. I ain't watching that shit. Fuck that shit. I don't care. I'm done. And that is my rant. Whew. I just need to get that off my chest. So if he come out with something else, don't nobody suggest it to me. Don't nobody say, hey, I got a review suggestion. If it says written, directed, or produced by Tyler Perry, I'm like, no thanks. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You can do that. I'm not doing it. I'm done. And that is it. Woo, that has been an episode. Episode 40 is in the books, y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in today. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Again, my sister Maki is still going through some things post accident. So this is her GoFundMe. If you could donate $5, donate $1, $2, whatever, anything, because not only does she have her medical bills, but she's still off work. She's still off work, and she has to have surgery on the leg that the car hit her. So we still got her GoFundMe. Please support, help out any way you can. Any little thing, $5, $10, whatever, any little thing can have, is greatly appreciated. I want to thank y'all again for stepping up when we did the auction for her. Everybody did an amazing job. We raised a lot of money, but she's not out the woodworks yet. And, lawyer fees, because this was a criminal case, like somebody hit her and dragged her across the highway. So lawyer fees, medical bills, and she still cannot work. She physically cannot work. She wants to work, and she's searching for like work from home jobs. Like, she is trying, but the bills are keep piling up. The bills are keep piling up. So just anything, help my sister out. I love you, Maki. We're here for you. Also prayers for Bosa and his family. They've been going through health situations. And Bosa's always been our supporter. He's always been there for us. He's always rallied around us and loved on us and helped us when we need him. So let's be there for him. He may not ask for anything. I'm still, but we want to support him and be there for him and wrap our arms around him and love on him and his family. So shout out to Bosa, our ambassador. We love him forever and always. And again, this episode is brought to you by Mutation Station, Lucy Land Ball Pythons, Candy Lady Creations, and Flexing and Finessing Reptiles. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what I'm reviewing next week. I might do Rhapsodies. Oh, thank you, Coco. Coco! Thank you. Don't do that to thank you for dropping the GoFundMe link. Thank you, Coco. Appreciate that. But yeah. So help Maki however you can. Pray for Bosa and help him however you can if he asks for help, because he probably don't want anything. But if we can help him in any way and his family, prayers for them. And support everybody. I'm not sure if Irresistible Balls have a podcast today. I think because they've been vending a lot, so I'm not sure if they have a show today. But if they do, it's usually around noon my time, Central Time. So tune in to them if they have a podcast today. But definitely tune in to Mike Hurt Collectors. Him and Matt got their Double Clutch podcast. And I believe that's at 7 p.m. my time, Central Time. And then after that, it's our boy, your boy, my boy, Wiz, Sophisticated Ignorance with R.O. We have that this evening. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Father Don, because I forgot. KG and Joffy's show and sale on Instagram, their Instagram podcast that disappears after it's done. They couldn't do the show on their normal night, Wednesday night, but they got an episode that they're doing today, allowed today. So thank you. Follow them, Jaffe and KG, on Instagram, Bomb Projects on Instagram, so you could tune into their show. And again, you better tune into their show because they be dropping some heat. They be having some fire guests. And once that episode is done, it don't stay up on Instagram forever. They delete it. So tune in to KG and Jaffe's show and sale today as well. Again, and if you miss the 7 hours of Keys Constrictors Hair Down Fridays last night, hit that replay, comment, like, subscribe, because YouTube love it and they love it when YouTube loves it. So whatever that quote Keys always saying. But anyways, thank you everybody. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all support. I will let y'all know what I'm reviewing next week. If I can make it to the theaters in time to see Deadpool, because I think it comes out this Thursday. If I can make it a time and watch Deadpool in time for next week's show, I will do it. If not, it will be the following week. I'm trying to get Wiz on there. And maybe even Keys, Wiz and Keys, so we can do a Marvel Part 2 episode. So we'll see how the schedule goes and how everybody sees it, but that review is coming soon. Anyways, I love y'all. This is your host, Prince Elias. Thank you to the replay gang. I appreciate y'all for coming in on the back end and commenting. And that is it. This has been Snake Cinema Podcast. I'm your host, Prince Elias. And we are out. Hit that outro.
Cinema Podcast stepping in. Your one-stop review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibes, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around. Every episode, spitting truth. Old school jams and the latest youth. We keep it real, no sugarcoat. Pop culture on the mic we wrote. So tell your friends and hit subscribe. Snake Cinema here to vibe. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. We're the hottest review in your street. Snake Cinema Podcast stepping in. You want stop review, let it sink in. Hip hop vibe, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around.